ladies and gentlemen, or whatever you are in between that beautiful, gorgeous Technicolor rainbow. It is your host, Owl Black YT, and we have today with us Bigums, Life of Chief, Cuck Boy Austin himself, BJ Nipple Twister with the Echo, and Tic-Tastic. We also have a special guest, Pro Gaming, I don't know who it is. Anyway.
Hi, how are you?
So, we're just going to kick this off real quickly. So, it's been a minute since we do a podcast, so I just think we should catch everybody up. But before we get into that, one of the first topics we're going to talk about is Bigums. If you know, we're actually going to talk about Monster Hunter, because me, Bigums, and Chief all have Monster Hunter. We've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter, and I think, and whoever that is just spoke. We've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter, and I just wanted to get everyone's opinions real quick. I know Chief's kind of busy trying to catch up on Super, so he'll be joining us shortly. But Bigums, what is your opinions on Monster Hunter right now?
Hadouken, I love it.
Like, if you had to give Monster Hunter out of 10, what would you rate it?
Hadouken, out of 10.
That's a pretty solid score. You can't really argue with that. There's nothing much you can say, just sometimes you just
Bigums, neighborhood spit. Nice to meet you.
You don't have my permission to say that. But anyway, next up, Tigger, what do you think of Monster Hunter World so far?
So far, bro, I think that it's a great game. It's honestly my favorite game of all time at this point. And God, it's just dope, bro. The fact that I cut off a monster's tail and it never felt so satisfying ever in my lifetime. Also, I fight things that fly, which is dope too. And I have a sword.
Okay. Very insightful.
I give it a 10 out of 10, no flex.
10 out of 10, really?
I'm being so serious right now. That's how good it is.
I respect that. I think Monster Hunter was probably the best Monster Hunter we've ever had, even though it is very dumbed down. I've played a couple Monster Hunter games. I think this one's really, really good. The multiplayer needs work. Please pardon my family in the background being obnoxiously loud for no reason. But I'd say the multiplayer needs a little bit of work. I would openly admit that it's a pretty solid game. If the co-op campaign was better, if it worked a little better, if it's you can electronize the co-op campaign, it would be a 10 out of 10 for me as well. But that is a major detail that just wasn't worked out all the way, I don't feel. And I think that takes away from the play value to me. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, just personally. I don't know what the F of Hadouken out of 10 is, but, F-hole Kuko up there. Bigums.
Go with 9.
Huh?
Go with 9.
No. So it's pretty solid though. Everyone likes it. I just wanted to get that out of the way because a lot of us have been playing Monster Hunter, and I just wanted to get that off. Does anyone else have anything they want to say about Monster Hunter before I move on?
Hadouken.
I enjoy all the memes about it so far that I've seen.
Okay. That.
Am I not allowed to like memes?
Well, no, that's fine. But
I would like to say Owl does not like to play Monster Hunter.
I don't know what that is. Moving on. Next topic up here. We need to talk about porn tags.
I'm so down. I'm down for that.
So porn tags is when you go watch some porn on the internet of hentai porn. I had to say hentai because big.
Oh, so you mean the inaccurate shit?
People who tag the porn is really funny. And me being a man who dabbles in it every once in a while, I'm always just baffled by certain tags that you find. That's just a thing. I found something. And it was just midget porn, basically. But it was so. I was like, why is this a thing? I've never in my life there was one that was flat chested. I think that's a porn tag. I don't vibe. So I just want to ask you guys, was there any particular porn tags that just were weird, or have you ever had any weird situations with one?
I have.
We're gonna start.
I wasn't aware those were a thing, so count me out on this one.
Well, no, you've had hentai tags that have been weird.
Not that I find weird, so once again, count me out on this one.
Okay, all right, Tigger, let's see what you got. I want to hear this.
Midget.
And that's a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Lobbies are weird, bro.
I'm not gonna. No, moving on. I just wanted to throw it out there because that just bugged me, and it was something I had to talk about the other day. And I would go on for a long spiel, but I mean, this is a podcast. We have like 20 topics, so let's gotta move on here. On one of the topics here, we have Sir Awesomton with us, and he listed in the topics in my server. If you want to be on the server, please check the link below. He listed there that his left nut is a topic that we should discuss in the podcast. And I do think that we should talk about my boy's testicular cancer. Yeah, his testicular cancer. So we should probably talk about his left nut. And our hearts and prayers go out to Awesomton. Hopefully he'll just let us know how his surgery goes to get his cancer removed, and we'll see how it goes. He does not have testicular cancer.
You're really going all the way with this one, aren't you?
Yes, I am!
Someone just nailed it.
It's Awesomton. Boston build on the Discord after hearing his topic.
I see that now.
Next up, I think we should talk about Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strikers. That was, I think, the worst anime game beta I've ever participated in my life.
Why do you keep calling it that?
I'm sorry. No, he's right. He's right. I need to change the topic. We have a list of topics. I'm going to change it live. I made a mistake. I can't change it live. I'd have to edit the entire thing. Jesus Christ. Oh, no, I'll do it. Let me know. Bigums is right. I made a mistake. It's, for some reason, someone here put Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strikers. I don't know what that is. It's clearly Boruto's dad.
To Boruto's dad's son.
No, Boruto's dad.
Shinobi Strikers.
Yeah, Boruto's dad, Shinobi Strikers. I don't know who told anyone that. Yeah. Boruto's dad, Shinobi Strikers. Someone. Yeah, so that's the thing. Anyway, I just want to talk about that real quick because that's, I think, one of the worst anime betas we've ever had come out this year.
I didn't even play it. I just made a black soft game, called it a day.
So
that thing was a dumpster fire.
I think. Okay, so let's break it down. Can we just talk about this? Because I think Tigga and I joined in on it. Pride joined in on it. I think she joined in on it, and it was just a bunch of us attempting to play it.
We all tried to join in. That's the correct term.
Yeah, it wasn't working. It wasn't functional.
I made my CAC and he immediately got booted to the main menu. So like, oh, you want to actually play this game? Fuck you. Do you want to actually hours before? Oh, do you actually want to create a character? Fuck you. Stare at the main menu.
Yeah, I think that's a major oversight.
The damn thing never worked.
It didn't.
So by the time I actually got interested enough to try and play it, oh no, you will play something else, mister. And I was like, okay then, I will go play a game I actually paid for.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't play. Like, the customization was super limited.
To be fair, it's a beta.
I just got a black off.
I don't expect customization to be that unlimited.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
But Tigga, I apologize for Fighters, and Fighters did something that it didn't, like Naruto didn't in this case. When Fighters wasn't working for its beta, they closed the beta and fixed the issue.
Yeah.
With Naruto, they said full steam ahead, and it did not work the entire time. The whole duration of 2 days worth of beta.
Which, this isn't like the closed beta, this is open beta, which means the game's releasing soon, if not yet. So, for it to be this
how's
below...
an open beta without a release, though? A release date? I don't understand that.
Fighters, I mean, okay, the thing is, you can have an open beta without a release date, especially if you like having an open beta really early, but the fact of the matter is, we can expect to see this open beta, not the open beta, the game drop, probably sometime around April.
April or March. Not March, but April or May.
It's probably sometime around April this game will drop. And I'm telling you right now, this game, if they were smart, I would just postpone the game's release, honestly.
Usually when it's an open beta, that means the release of the full game is close.
Yeah, I would honestly just drop it.
We all played the Monster Hunter beta and the Fighters beta. How long did it take for the full game to drop after their open betas dropped?
Not so long.
I think Fighters was like a couple of weeks. I think Monster Hunter was a month. So.
But Monster Hunter's beta actually worked.
Yeah, It's just, I think that this game,
Monster Hunter's beta was the reason I bought the game. It was fun.
Yeah, and it still is fun. Yeah, Boruto's dad, Shinobi Strikers, just really needs to work on its, okay, let's just get this out of the way. The game is ugly. I don't care who you are.
I
don't care if you go, it's just art style. No one cares. No one cares if it's art development. No one cares. Like, no one cares. It's awful. Okay. It sounds like someone fapping to the because people fap to the idea of like art and the art style and things like that. People do fap to that, and no one cares. It's bad.
Those
like,
people need help.
Now,
they do.
How many of you guys got to do like the tutorial that was on the thing itself?
I couldn't. I could only watch you do it. That's the situation.
Now, I myself, the tutorial did not teach enough first, and if I was to use that as a scale for how the gameplay will go, the game itself's clunky, and not the good kind of like clunky that can exist. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a fluid game. You can feel that, but it doesn't flow.
Everyone's supposed to be running around like chickens with their head cut off, but what we got is a bunch of idiots reading at a 3rd grade level trying to figure out how Ultimate Frisbee works.
Screw you. You did that one on purpose.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Ouch.
I think that Boruto's Death Shinobi Strikers could have had a better release date. I think that it could have been a better like beta in general. Like the beta clearly wasn't trying. I can't even get into it.
That would be what I would expect from an alpha of the game.
Yeah.
But this was an open beta.
Well,
they've had a closed beta. They need to.
So we can
need to.
The alpha.
No, you can't. No, you cannot call it an alpha ticket. You know why?
No.
Why?
Because the alpha already exists.
Alpha already exists. You can't call this game a. There's
what?
no way. I'm saying, but no, you can't call this game a. You can't say they'll have another beta. They won't. And if they do have another beta, maybe they'll have another one, but we can't expect too many improvements.
I hope they do.
I don't think we're going to get too many improvements, man. I just think it's going to be bad. I feel like I called it a year ago that Shinobi Strikers was going to be bad. Tigger doubted me, and here we are a year later, and Shinobi Strikers is bad. I even called Fighters. I called Fighters a year ago.
You did. I mean, you said that it would have a very short lifetime. It's a game that you just get on occasionally. That's about it.
Like Fighters,
there's no drive to just play it.
I have Tekken and I rarely play it. I play that longer than I play Fighters.
Tekken's actually fun, though.
I think it's really important to realize that I'm not saying I'm like the smartest person because I'm clearly not. I make a lot of mistakes, but I think it should be known that you can just tell what a product's gonna be from what they show you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like this Xenoverse DLC was hyped. It was hyped crazily, which is a segue to our next topic. The Xenoverse DLC was hyped crazy. The Xenoverse DLC came out, and I'm going to be real with you. It lived up to the hype. There's a few disappointments, but for the most part, it lived up to the hype. Like you got Uiku who dodge hacks. Like Uiku dodge hacks, and I would argue that I like him a lot because I know how to play him. But if you don't, if you don't know how to play him and you let your opponent get you down to 1 bar of stamina, have fun dying. But yeah, but for the most part, I have a lot of fun with Uiku. I know how to play him.
I've had experience with that.
I've done it to you.
Yeah, I personally give it about an 80, just on the grounds of the false advertisement that they had.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the false advertisement, which we did get clickbaited with the advertisement, which I mean, in a podcast, probably one of the best places to do a PSA about this, about the false advertisement. Biglins, would you like to tell people better?
Well, I've heard some more information on this about apparently only the Corona Avatar, Supreme Kai of Time, or the Dragon Ball Fighters and the Android 21 outfit for Xenoverse 2 were the Japanese exclusives, and that the others will still be available at some time.
Oh, so it's
everything is just an apparently right now.
Okay.
So
everything is just an apparently.
Some things on release of this though, because they did promise more costumes than we got. At least with it.
Oh, really? The costumes that we got, I'm gonna openly admit, I don't ever remember them teasing us with a wedding dress outfit or like a.
They
did temporarily.
Like when?
They did.
I actually don't.
In the trailer. The wedding dress and the wedding dress and the tuxedo were shown off for a couple of seconds.
I probably missed it.
Okay.
I probably legitimately missed it.
It probably got overshadowed by the rest of it.
No. But I mean, again, I think for us a DLC that allowed us to customize our mentors, give us a fun new character named Fu, which is adorable and he's awesome. Fu is fun. He's a fun character. It gave us new story mode, new moves. It changed the meta of the game. A lot of people were complaining that the game was getting old and stale, and that because the game was kind of getting a little predictable. Now look, it was very predictable.
Now they have limit burst, which some people say is a great mechanic, and other people say is a fucking nightmare.
I think it's a great mechanic, and if you think it's a nightmare, odds are, and I'm just going to say this, and I F your feelings, by the way. Warning. So if you don't want your feelings hurt, you may want to skip like 10 seconds ahead. If you have an issue with that, odds are you're bad at the game. Odds are, if you don't like limit burst, you're bad at the game, and you were already bad at the game, and this only made you worse at the game.
I don't have a problem with any of the limit bursts, although I will admit the super armor is annoying.
Yeah.
And when I respond to you, and I respond to your super armor by grabbing, you have no right to get mad at me for grabbing you.
I think the super armor limit burst is.
I would like to have a word with you, Venom.
That's the only one that I have a complaint
If
about.
the only thing I can do to you is grab you, you have no reason, you have no right to complain about me doing literally the only fucking thing I can do to you.
My personal opinion on the limit burst is that especially, I think some are better than others. Like, I believe that super armor is really solid, but I think auto just guard's probably better, in my honest God opinion. I think auto just guard's better than super armor. I think, because people are more likely to attack you. When you have super armor on, they just grab spam and run away. So you just gotta dodge around and try to swing and catch them. It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
So, odds are, if someone has super armor, especially against me, I'll just wait you out. Because I don't, it's whatever to me. I have patience. I think I do.
Patience, he says. No, he has a pocket dimension.
I have patience. Anyway, I do think though. Look, there was a time when you had super armor. I did, and I perfect blocked you, and I waited you out.
I know.
But I'll just to be real. I think also that from my perspective, there's only one of them that sucks, and it's the one. But I mean, granted, in a game like this, there's gonna be one that's worse than the rest anyway. But I think the weakest limit burst is the one where ups your it makes you the one where you regen health is the worst
auto
limit
health
burst.
And auto stamina.
Yeah, that's the worst. Because you take more damage. It's like your stamina may be recovering. I'm just gonna smack you.
I actually have one that does the auto health and stamina, doesn't give me a defense deficit.
No, when you activate it in a fight, it won't say it. But when you look at it offline, when you're not in a fight, it will tell you.
Yeah, it does not say what the negative to it is online.
Yeah, or not even online. In mid-battle, it won't tell you what the deficit is until after the battle. So.
But
you may want to check that out, especially with you being on your female margin. If I catch you and you have extra damage acceptable to you, you will be taking all of that damage, darling.
See, the order are the ones that are most useful. I'd say Just Guard and Defense are probably about evenish, just on the grounds of one of them lets you keep moving a lot freer than the other.
Yeah.
Then I'd say Attack, and then I'd say Revive.
I'd say actually above attack damage, there's a little niche area where certain moves get buffs that are crazy, like Sword of Hope, Final Kamehameha.
Right.
Those,
I forgot about that.
Those are so good.
Those are god tier.
Those are so good. Hits ability, hits, time skip Molotov. Those are some of my favorites, and I love them.
Get the time skip Molotoving becoming useful.
I think those just in general, those are really good. So again, I think that this has opened up a new meta from my experience, because back before this, it was put on your super soul that makes you this strong, blah blah blah. And builds are pretty kind of cookie cutter, but now that you can customize and work with your build, there's more options now. If I were to revisit the Kefla build, there would be 4 different super souls you could use just because they're good. So I think it's something to keep in mind. But I think
I overall like what they've done with this update. And the dual ults are super fun to pull off.
The dual ults are so good. I've been grinding for one during the podcast.
okay, dual ults are one of the best things to be added.
Yeah.
The ability to customize mentors
Fantastic.
is also
that's another thing.
That is gorgeous.
But before we forget, they finally they finally
is stupid.
Yeah, they've also kept with their promise that they told us that they were going to do when Xenoverse first was released, like Xenoverse 2, where you can F with the timeline and have fun with it. They did that this DLC, and it is.
They kept that.
I think some of the character interactions are some of the best interactions in Dragon Ball history, and that went to fighters before this DLC. Also, Super Saiyan Nappa, God tier. Anyway,
I'd argue that they're about tied on that, really, myself.
Well, I said some of the best, not the best.
Yeah, I'm saying they'd be about tied-ish.
Like, Zamasu being mad that Tapion stole his due is priceless.
That's top tier. I'm not gonna argue that.
Like, Boo being upset that you're fighting Videl and him turning on you? Come on.
Now, okay, Turles openly being like, oh, you're immortal. Gank, wrong team.
Ginyu switching bodies with Goku Black Rose and going, don't worry, I'm fully in touch with using a Goku's body. And then he's pulling Goku's stance and going, hey, I'm Goku and saved from Earth. Bam! That is flawless. I love it. And Fu's character, he's not like... It's so easy to write a cookie cutter villain. It's so easy. And for this DLC, I think everyone, including myself... No, I think everyone, including myself, considered Fu to be a cookie cutter villain. Fu's just this generic villain, and it's like, no, that's Deborah's job. Fu's just minding his own business, really.
Well, that's what I thought.
Which, by the way, I did appreciate the fact that Deborah was the villain.
No, I do appreciate them.
It wasn't really cookie cutter, per se. It's just more on the grounds of his motive.
Well, okay.
One of the old predictable ones.
Here's why he's cookie cutter. Because only a cookie cutter villain would be like, haha, protagonist, you've arrived. And I've kidnapped someone precious to you. Now, I could easily kill them, but no. I will then force them into a situation where my life equals their freedom. So, you must kill me in time to save the victim. Like, that's very cookie cutter. It's very, like,
okay, there, I'll agree in that case.
Like that,
if
but
that's an argument for being cookie cutter, sure.
That's very cookie cutter to me. I mean, I'm so used to it and jaded to it. But Deborah was actually very charming in this in DLC. Like, he was... The interactions he had with Vegeta, where Vegeta's like, you get serious back there, and he's like, if you insist. Like, I was like, oh, okay. Deborah's a G, and when you fight Deborah, and it's fine, like, he gives you this, like, this little clueless to it. Like, the entire DLC, you're trying to figure out what's happening, you know what I mean?
The beginning is so confusing.
Yeah.
Because you just, like, spoilers allowed for this or no?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Demogorgon sitting here walking up, talking.
That was
as a supreme god of time.
Yeah, that was
like,
just
that to me. I was like, how does my character know him?
Yeah.
But that, like, it doesn't. Turns out it's not that he knows him. It's that you can feel his evil.
Yeah.
You don't personally know him. It's just like he's evil, and it's like I can smell your evil.
You know the funny thing about that is, anyone who plays the Switch version is going to have a perfect explanation as to why they know who Demigray is.
You know what I think
I
think what's worth talking about is the fact that
yeah, legacy story mode, something only the Switch can do.
I think what's interesting is Supreme Kai Time mentions the fact that we're not from this timeline. Like, we're not from, like, Conton City, essentially, originally.
Are you sure? Or are you sure? I thought she was referring to the mentor at that point.
Just talking about us, because us and the mentor.
Are a bunch
she
of
said
weirdos.
not from the timeline, because Trunks was saying, is it okay to send just one time patroller at a time? Then she says, not from another timeline, and then your mentor shows up.
I'm pretty sure she meant both of us. Even if it is just Ike the mentor, still though.
Yeah, because when I was looking at that during the story mode stream earlier, I was like, oh, I really am from another timeline. And then Boo showed up, and I'm like, oh, you were talking about him.
I think it might be both, but regardless of the situation there, though, it's like, no, it has to be both of us, actually. Because when Fu resets everything back to normal with his sword ability to absorb things, which that's crazy. Fu being all like, all right, timeline fixed now, bye. Have fun. I do love that.
I have created a pocket dimension. You are having fun in my pocket dimension. I am now going to close my pocket dimension and take the energy for myself. therefore increasing my power.
I think Fu is a great add to the Xenoverse lore. I think he's a great add to Dragon Ball in general. Unlike Android 21, who just really wasn't necessary, and when she came along, she really didn't add to anything. It kind of took away from the overall story and made it more complicated and hard to read. Fu added to it and made it fun, made it enjoyable, and wasn't actually hard to keep up with. So I think that,
and gave some good moves.
And I think Fu should be Fu should be the new standard for his characters introduced in Dragon Ball games.
And the story mode involvement wasn't tedious as fuck. Well, actually, it is, but you don't need to go far down play them.
I think it should be a standard for characters introduced to Dragon Ball, period.
True.
Make them actually fun.
Yeah. Like, there's something outstanding and gorgeous about the cuts.
On that note, this story mode isn't tedious.
No.
It isn't. No. You're not forced to do every single mentor.
No. It's
unless
not.
you're crazy. You don't.
Unless you're trying to get his moves, and then if you're after the final reward.
If you're after his moves, you can just play as Fu.
Like, to me, it only got annoying after I got his moves. It was after 80%. It got annoying.
Yeah, I think when you're trying to get his moves, I think that's when it becomes tedious. But again, the goal there is to grind to get his moves. You're not actually grinding to get the story. Whereas with Android 21 and Fighters, you were
grinding to get him in general.
Like Android 21,
how quickly they gave that to us.
Like you were grinding to get like 21 herself and her it was just poorly implemented. Just honestly, it just wasn't really done well. I don't think there's any more words to be said about that. I just think that they could have done that a lot better. Like especially, you gotta know Fighters is a more story-driven game than Xenoverse. Like it really is if you look at it right. Mm-hmm. And Xenoverse came out the cut and was like, you guys did that in Fighters? That's anyway, let the professionals take over. And then they just came out the cut with Fu. And it's like, okay. Because they're both, if you look at it, both of them are scientists, both wear glasses.
True.
And both of them have interactions with the cast that are very important.
Yep, and both are related to a member who used to be in the cast.
So it's just... So, it's kind of a big deal.
Gimmick.
So both of them are very similar characters. Fu's just dumb, or Fu if you're that kind of person. We're going to say Fu because it's phonetically spelled that way.
I don't like Fu. He sounds ugly.
Fu just has a lot prettier hairstyle.
True, but Fu's hairstyle is gorgeous. But I do think that I just think that they could have implemented it a lot better. When it came to Fighters, Fu was awesome though. I think this entire DLC is a great way to end off Xenoverse as far as DLC wise. And if they continue it in the future, which I mean if they feel like it, they don't even have to. They're done here. We got Uiku. I don't think anyone's asking for much more. We're kind of good. It's a great way to end off the DLC, and I think it's
surprised.
I know. I'm saying it's a great way to end off the DLC, and I think it's a great way to end off
people are still asking for Rage Trunks and now Royal Blue Vegeta.
Oh god, whatever. People in their reskin Saiyans. Anyway.
And Topo.
I mean, Topo I kind of get, but the reskin Saiyans, it's who cares? Reskin Saiyans?
I'd be okay with it,
And I actually saw a few comments we need shirtless Jiren now, and I'm just why? Just Jiren without a shirt on.
I feel like those will be okay things for a third installment if they make it.
I think third installment of Xenoverse is... I think
it's most likely.
Yeah, Xenoverse 2 is done for where it is, in my opinion. I think it's made a lot of money, and I think that it's fine here. I think that any more to it would just be a bastardization of the franchise.
It's excessive at that point.
It's not even excessive. It's just kind of it just steps over... It feels like a step backwards if you add more to it from here. This is a done game. No matter how you feel about it, this is effectively done. We have the DLC. If you're fresh to this game, you got all the DLC and you played it. You'll be stuck playing this game for over a month, trying to get all of it done.
If you try, to complete the entire game, heck yeah.
Dude, I'm actually gonna test that now too.
I still don't have all the moves in the base game. I'm not even counting DLC.
I'm missing 3. But that's just because I have very poor RNG.
There's so much to get done in this game. There's so much that could be done, that you can do, that you have done, I think. And then the implementation of the way that you can catch your level grinding up, and I think it's done. Honestly, I think this is like the best DLC for Xenoverse. I think that this is currently the best combat system for Xenoverse. I think this is good. It allows for a lot more.
For the next installment, all they would have to polish up is the net code.
But they actually fixed it up, some of it a bit, cause like.
Some of it, yeah.
Like, I'm gonna openly remark.
We've been having solid matches.
Like I've had solid matches, and the only person I've ever had the lag issue that I used to have before is Awesometon, who is a Canadian connection, and we've all openly know that if you host a room and invite Awesometon, he doesn't connect immediately. You have to wait 3 tries, so it's his connection, and that's like getting mad at Call of Duty for a dude who's using like McDonald's Wi-Fi to connect to Call of Duty. Like, oh, Call of Duty's netcode's trash. No, it's actually no. So from what I see, Xenoverse is pretty solid. I think that this is a great way to ride out the game for the next month or two, and until it's done. I think it's pretty dope. Is there anything anyone else wants to say about Xenoverse 2 before we move on?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, also for the third installment, if they could.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on. Next up on the topic list.
It's the second game, and you're talking about the third one. Stop.
Oh, we're done. You see there, ticket? You see in the list right there of topics, it says Xenoverse what? 2.
5. Yeah, 2.
Ooh.
Alright, fine. I got you. I like Xenoverse 2. Well, let's move on now.
Yeah. Anyway, so a topic that I've kind of been sprinkling out through conversations for the past week that we haven't really got into, except me and Bigums. That video recording's coming out probably a day after this one, so look out for that. Monster Girls.
Oh.
Yeah. So Monster Girls. Would you F them? Which ones wouldn't you F?
Yes.
So let's just get this out of the way. I don't F with Spider Monster Girls. I don't F with that. You can, fam. I don't F with
you. don't F with spiders, period.
No, I do. Just not Spider Monster Girls, because they're my size. I don't like spiders. They're like when a spider's the size of a puppy, I don't F with it no more.
I respect that.
I remember the story about Rom.
I don't F with that. I don't F with spiders that are bigger than me, dude.
You ran away from that.
I handed the controller to my homie.
Even though he didn't look like a spider, but his friends did.
Yeah, that's the issue.
It's like, oh, you're perfectly fine.
Now, I was like beating on Rom, and I was like, what is that? What is that? And I was like, skin started crawling. And I was like, nope, you can have it. You can have the controller.
Okay.
So I don't F with spiders.
Like, I've actually talked with you about this a bit. Like, whenever it came up in casual conversation about Orisa.
Yeah, which I consider Orisa not a monster girl, but she's darn near close because she's a robot centaur. And I was like, I get with Orisa because she's not horse-like. She just has 4 legs.
For me, like, as long as the body itself is human-esque, I'm okay with it.
So,
like,
okay.
If it develops more legs than a human, no.
I'm trying to think of like a good monster girl. Okay, so you know like Ursula from The Little Mermaid?
Isn't she the sea witch?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look that up then.
Yeah. Well, I need to know where the line is wrong because I think that like I'm very open to a lot of things when it comes to like monster girls. I just don't F with spiders. I don't F with anything.
God.
Well, Ursula's a bad example. I'm talking about a girl who had her body, like not like her physical like physique, but rather like her like
I'm saying like waist down isn't human.
I mean, there might be a Vagu. I'm pretty sure there's a Vagu there.
I ain't trying to find out.
Okay, look, like, that's a bit too fishy for me.
Bad pun, kill yourself.
Now, if you want to be, you can be a sucker for that.
Just making puns out the wazoo, huh? I openly do think that I would...
But you gotta admit, it all went swimmingly in the end.
Kill yourself.
I still got 5 more to make 8.
Okay. Anyway, I think that I'm very open to, like... I'm just wondering, what is your limit? Like, what's the thing where you're like... No, never. Like a specific animal monster girl, like an alligator girl, werewolf girl, zombie girl, things like that. I don't F with anything that's been dead. Like I don't care.
Skin and tentacle.
I don't care if it's undead. I don't play that game. Like I don't know. If you
also if the bottom half isn't human.
Same.
The bottom half.
Okay, here's the deal. The bottom. Okay, here's my dealio. The bottom half can be non-human, only if, and here's the exception here, me sticking my peener stick into its vagoo doesn't require me, as a human being, to look and feel like I'm effing an animal.
I agree with that.
Like if it's a horse in the back, and her vagoo is in the back where the horse parts would be, I'm not putting my peener stick in there. However, if her vagoo were to be in the front part, and she like, like the satyr, is that what they call it? Like with the ones that have like goat legs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If it's like that, well yes, it's not human at the bottom, but I don't look like I'm having sex with a goat. You see what I'm saying here? Like that's where I draw the line. Where it's like, no, I'm not into bestiality, like because it's human-esque, like it's a human being like thing. You know what I mean? So that's why I personally, that's what I'm doing my little line. I don't know about you guys. You can draw your lines wherever you feel like it. That's what I'm drawing mine. So
if it looks like somebody that I know,
like because I mean vampires count as monsters. Like that's the thing. Yeah, vampires are monster girls.
Oh, I'm so down for that.
Like werewolves are monster girls, like things like that exist.
Except hairy beasts. Nope, cannot do that.
I'm not.
Furry girls need love too.
Hmm?
You heard me.
Did you say furry girls need love too?
No.
You heard me.
I'm sorry. I need you to repeat that for the podcast.
Furry girls need love too. You heard
No,
me.
they don't.
I'm sorry, but like Al, let's be honest here. You wouldn't want the person. You want its mother.
You can't prove that. Side note, yes, I would totally want the person. I'm not interested in everyone's mom. Jesus Christ.
We are
and by
never
the way-
gonna let you live that down.
Okay, so Tiga, by the way, just so you know about vampires, vampires are considered undead. They die to become that.
Well,
See,
So-
vampires, not all of them. Not all vampires, no.
I'm sorry, are we talking about like the select few
My
from like the
standards are
early
high.
80s?
No, I'm talking about,
Where
I'm
Dracula
bro, like,
infused
if you're
blood
like,
and
if you're
acid
using
something?
like American mythology, then yes, they're undead.
No, I'm saying like even as far as a bunch of other.
Yeah, others, but like not all. That's what I'm saying. Like not all of them consider them to be dead. Like that's why I'm like I kind of. I'm like
I'm just gonna have to pull a no on the grounds that 80% of the time it will have been dead.
look. My issue is when I put my peener stick in it and it's cold. I don't want to sex a vampire.
what?
That's honestly that's a segue.
What did I do? Huh?
Anyway, Chief just joined the podcast, which means Chief has finished episode 1. What?
Oh crap!
121.
Am I supposed to watch that?
No, you don't have. I mean, we're going to talk about it. You don't have to watch it, but.
Oh crap!
I mean.
29.
Shoot a message when you're done.
Okay, I got you. Okay, he's good. So let's talk about the episode. So it's episode 129, Dragon Ball Super. We've all seen it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, this episode was hype.
It was nice.
This episode,
Are you dumb? Very.
this episode was so hype. I think, we had a lot of hype moments in this episode. I think the hypest moment has to be Goku plucking. I say plucking casually. Like plucking is the wrong word, but it's the only word that fits. Goku plucks Jiren's penultimate attack, and then just holds it in his hand and crushes it. Like, oh, that's cool. So
Didn't even crush it. Just let it fade. Just let it fade from existence.
this couldn't harm me. So Goku gets Mastered Ultra Instinct this episode. Vegeta talks a lot of trash to a God of Destruction. I think all around the animation was.
To be fair.
The animation.
The worst one.
The animation was really bad though. Most of this episode, the animation was trash for like 50% of the episode.
Bank animation.
And yeah, we had reused animation. Bank animation is going to be that person.
Hey, you notice that they reused the opening?
Well, to be fair, they reused the opening, but that I'm okay with.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. But there's something about the reused opening that you might not have noticed. And AJ pointed it out on his Twitter.
What?
The edits they used to close UI Goku's eyes. They're very thick black lines.
Because the opening Goku's like in base. He's not even UI.
No, he's Super Saiyan Blue. That's the scene they used.
In the opening, they actively went out of their way to customize it. I like the way they did the opening. I like the fight between Goku and Jiren. How they used I don't like how they reused them flowing across the battlefield the way they did the first time. Because I was there's no one there to show us the spectacle of the distance. It really doesn't matter that much. I don't understand why Goku and Jiren refused to fight on the last good chunk of the stage that's there. I don't know why they refused to fight on that, but I'm sure if I was a martial artist with my universe depending on me, I'd make the same choices. You know. But I do think that this episode was really good, though. But I'm going to toss it off to Chief. Chief, what do you think of this episode?
I'm going to need to clarify on what I meant earlier.
I liked it, I guess. But it was I don't know, it's kind of weird. Because Weiss was talking about it to be harder after he lost it. Didn't he lose it while he was falling? Didn't he fall out of UI while he was falling? And then go back into it?
He didn't, lose it. He kind of just, powered down a bit.
Okay.
It's
No, but I did like the little Vegeta pep talk.
Yeah, that was dope, yeah. Vegeta we're Saiyans. We out here surpassing and breaking our limits. You mean to tell me that idiot up there ain't about to go master this piece? And then Goku's yeah, I got you, Vegeta. I do love they brought back Goku's war cry. They called it a war cry.
Yeah.
I do love that. I love that they brought that back.
So that's what made him go mastered, and not what the spoilers from a couple of weeks ago were insinuating.
Yeah, nothing with Frieza. I do love that, yeah.
He did that because of
So they still just completely forgot about Frieza.
He said
That's
Kakarot,
nice.
and he's been waiting for him to say his name back.
Goku.
He's been screaming Vegeta. And he finally said his name back. He's like, yes. Started screaming. Now I have to beat you, Jiren.
I love the interpretation of
So the power of friendship or bromance?
Bromance.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's really well done, though. I think that they did I think they executed UI with the perfect amount of hype. They did it really well. It didn't feel cheap. I expected it to feel really cheap, though. But when Goku...
I thought it was going to be kind of cheesy.
When Goku gets it, and he hasn't fully awakened into the form yet, and then he just casually walks to Jiren, cloaked in his aura, and then Jiren's like, I'm gonna punch you now, and Goku proceeds to F his entire existence. That was amazing, and I loved it because I'm a dumb Dragon Ball fan.
The only problem I have with that is the freaking, how he looked while he was the black,
Yeah, when he's cloaked in his aura.
He was yeah. That looked bad.
Character development, plot, cohesive story. Fuck all that gay shit. Give me two stupid shirtless swole dudes punching each other.
It's perfect. I do love, though, I think was a good moment is Goku's aura and how it before he went all the way to Mastered UI. When he's pinned down.
Goddamn galaxy.
Yeah, it's Goku's aura is a galaxy. And then Jiren's this is your heat.
Turn into a spiral galaxy.
Yeah, right? Jiren's this heat of yours, I might as well match it or whatever. Then Jiren flexes his aura and then condenses it. Yeah, he gets a sun. He pulls the easy go Dragon Ball villain thing of making a sun ball. A lot of Dragon Ball villains do that.
And then condensing it.
Yeah, he made a sun ball, condensed it to where it could F anything that came in contact. And everyone's scared of it. Bergamo Not Bergamo. What's his name? Belmont. Belmont is afraid of it. Belmont's all like they're like, it could kill us, like it could crush us. He's like, that doesn't matter. We need to win. You know? And then Goku just goes up, just like Goku just plucks it. He's like, I'll be taking that. Just plucks it casually.
Hey, that was kind of rude. I can't say that I would have done that. Probably would have just dodged, made him not feel like a child.
It was so fast.
Wouldn't flex that hard.
Dokkan battle on the podcast. I do love though how hard that flex was though. Just I'm like, I'll be taking that.
No, that was a freaking rapper on Instagram.
So
that's how hard he was flexing.
Okay, Chico, what do you think? What would you rate this episode of Dragon Ball Super out of 10? What would you rate?
I give it a good 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Like the animation and the art style. That's hard to, you know what I'm trying to say.
Okay. What about you, BJ? What would you rate this episode out of 10?
It was really good. I would like it a lot. Like it was the way that they presented Ultra Instinct Goku. It was like really detailed. Like it was so badass, basically. I'll give it like a 9 or 8 out of 10. I would give it like a 10 out of 10, but I'll give like somewhere close to that.
Okay. What about you, Chief? What would you give this episode out of 10?
Animation was pretty bad.
Yeah. Goku's noodle arms versus Jiren's noodle arms while they were in the air.
Yeah, but if we're going by, like, if we're not going off of that...
No, we're going by just episode quality compared to a lot, yeah.
Probably 9.5.
Okay.
Because it wasn't cheesy how he got it either.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, he got beat up and then he gets it now. Like every other time he gets a transformation.
What about you, Bigums? What would you rate this episode out of 10?
Screaming, shirtless, swole punch man out of 10.
God, that's a perfect score. I think that's a perfect score, boys.
Is that a 12?
I think that's a 14, actually. He said small. I think that's 14. I give this episode, from a storytelling perspective, I think this episode's clearly, for me, a 9 out of 10 just for sake of storytelling. I think it's really good. I think that it tackled a lot of the points that a lot of us cared about. I feel like UIQ, like, because a lot of times, like, when we first got UIQ, he really didn't meet the hype. This time around, he met the hype.
Alright, I'm back.
We're actually finishing up.
I just finished the episode.
Oh, okay. He watched it like at 2 times speed. He watched it like at 2 times speed.
I watched it 2 times speed and skipped everything that was unnecessary.
Okay.
I'm really glad I got to see Vibrator Arms Goku.
I forgot about that. So they try to brush that off as Goku. Okay, so Austin, he's no longer like here to talk about the podcast, but Austin came up with the concept that what that was supposed to be is Goku blocking, and because you know when Jiren's doing his dumb attack, how we can't see his arms move, he's just still framing. So that's him throwing like a kajillion punches, and then Goku down hunched over. That's him blocking a kajillion punches. And then when his arms started vibrating, that's him pumping those bad boys back up.
Yeah, he started to attack.
I'm really glad I actually just finished that.
I can see why she stays with him.
Oh my god! Back fingers, that man.
I was talking about magic finger. I was talking about his arms becoming gigantic vibrators.
I was talking about his vibrating arms and everything. Anyway, all around, I think. Michael? What would you rate? Like, what would you rate this episode out of like 10 right now?
Out of 10?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the episode isn't the rating I want to change. I want to change the rating on the Goku and Jiren we got in this DLC. Because if they are missing punches and detonating the stage...
I know, that was crazy! Yeah.
And, like, we got a Jiren who has full power energy wave. Not big death ball he threw at 17. Not supernova. Not mini I'm going to murder Goku ball. No, we got full power energy wave. And I'm also still kind of salty we didn't get the leaping Kamehameha.
Yeah, I would have been really cool. I do like how they brought it back.
Though.
I like how they.
You know the thing that several characters in the game already can use.
Okay.
In your CNC?
Let's talk about that real quick, actually. So I wanted to talk about this. We didn't talk about it earlier in our discussion about the reused animation. I think them using reused animation from the Kefla fight, which was very obvious, they gave a very good excuse for it. It's not justified well, but it's a good excuse. Simply because of the fact it was like, oh, Goku's using the same moves he used prior. Jiren's been like, nah, fam, I watched you in action. So I do like how they...
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, I mean, the episode itself was pretty good. I'm actually happy with the fact that we got the exposition from Whis.
Yeah.
And got to keep seeing the fight, rather than Whis talking, and then we go back to the fight.
But we did get a lot of that. I mean, granted, you watched that 2 times speed, but we got a good chunk of that.
Yeah, I watched it at 2 times speed. I watched it at the speed you're supposed to watch Dragon Ball.
You watched it at the speed that the characters watch it. They're like, I can't see what's happening. I don't. Which Austin and I brought up a good point earlier. How come Zeno wasn't mad that he couldn't see what was going on? Like,
because
no, they probably can.
No, I think they can see what's going on until they start exploding everything around them. Like,
that part.
How do you know what's happening?
I was like, what is there to see, buddy?
Hang on. We're wrong. UI Goku and Jiren have to be faster than super speed Dispo.
Yeah, right? So why are they able
to... And the tablet can't even slow it down enough for them to see. This fight can't be entertaining.
I do love Zeno, like, being Goku's #1 fan and doing the Kamehameha after him. I thought that was cute. Yeah, that was really cute.
Goku is... They're both super awesome, but Jiren's even more awesome. 5 minutes later, but Goku's even more awesome.
Goku's got Ultra Instinct!
They're like, Goku's amazing, and then Jiren blocks the Kamehameha.
I think this episode did...
Jiren!
I think this episode did a really good job at not abusing Whis too much, and I think it did a good job of having Vegeta say what we all were thinking.
Oh yeah.
We're like,
Vegeta's
like, we're Saiyans, man. We do this on the daily. Do you not know that we're constantly breaking the rules? We have plot armor. Yeah. Like, and he shows Kaba going Super Saiyan 2, and I'm like, yes.
I do appreciate, like, Belmont's reaction to Vegeta's speech. It's like, oh shit, he's right. Kill it!
Yeah, Jiren's like, he's just like, hurry up! Defeat him!
But what's better is, oh, you really think he's gonna master it? What rubbish. you 6 seconds later.
Knock him off, Jiren, hurry!
You think he's gonna master that? There's no way he's gonna master it. Why? Bring him out, Jiren!
Okay, so let me know, when Goku tapped into UI and stared at Jiren, there was 2 minutes left in the episode. Then, the episode that we have just now happened. So, we could say maybe 40 seconds, probably less than that just happened in this episode. Which means, while they were discussing Goku going UI, like, mastering it, Goku was like, oh yeah, they got a good point, let me try to master that real quick.
Yeah.
Goku is like, thank God, Beerus is finally shutting them up.
Now I'm Jiren and Belmont's yelling at me. If I'm Jiren and Belmont's yelling at me like that,
that was my favorite part of the episode. Beerus telling them to shut up and walk.
No, my hands down, my favorite part of the episode has to be Goku closing his eyes. He's like, I think too much, I'm just gonna close my eyes.
Yeah, that was...
See, I like that. I also liked whenever Goku was in the process of doing it, as Jiren's just like, oh crap, I should do something.
Yeah.
And he's just like, fire. And I was like, okay, Goku's just gonna dodge the ball. And it's gonna explode like below him or something. Where'd the ball go?
Just Goku yeah, you weren't here. I was like, Goku just plucked it from his hand. Just was holding it. Like,
yeah, it's just like, did you want this?
Oh, I think what was really good is the level of now this is a thing that one of my favorite animes, UQ Holder. It's one of my favorite anime. It does a very similar effect where a character runs by another character and it moves so fast that the other character didn't, just like after they gotten by them, reacts to the kajillion hits that they got hit by. And Jiren, like, Goku just like, I moved to the right, and Jiren just got F'd his entire existence. I think that was really cool.
That reminded me, that's a really good 5 gum commercial.
So now, question. who's ready for Ultra Instinct Jiren to just kind of be
Yeah.
birthed.
So in the next episode preview, we have a shirtless Jiren with red aura that it looks like his aura, but his aura already looks kind of similar to Ultra Instinct, so that's a thing. But it's just
He's
two.
already outputting the heat.
They're like just two shirtless idiots punching one another, and I love it.
And you know what really makes this all better?
What?
Frieza didn't sacrifice his afterlife.
Where the hell is Frieza at?
This I cannot believe that Frieza's just.
He has to be off.
Yeah, there's no.
There's no way.
I can't believe. Like, I honest to God.
Unless he's just behind the, on the other half.
The only way I see this working out is that if Frieza's unconscious, retarded body flies in the way of Jiren's punch and dies. Cause it's,
I wish they would have at least showed him on the tablet.
Yeah, right? Because I just...
Something. It's like, I'm so...
Or at the very least, this is probably what everyone's thinking was going to happen. Between Goku and Jiren, neither of them are going to knock the other out. It's going to be a tie.
Yeah.
And then Frieza's just going to wake up just like...
I have a theory.
No.
I don't... Okay, Bigums, you're giving Frieza too much credit. I believe that Jiren and Goku are going to beat one another. And then Zeno's like, Frieza's still on the platform. And Goku's like, what? Goku starts digging through rubble, pulls out his Frieza. He's still like, It's just like perfect.
So he takes the rubble, pulls out Frieza. I have fury.
Victory, Universe 7.
Frieza's in the one spot that hasn't been damaged.
Yeah, right?
On top of the timer itself.
Jesus Christ, man. There's just no way.
On top of that, to not be off the stage at this point. That's the only spot that's safe.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Jiren could have smacked him hard enough.
I refuse to believe that, like, Frieza is... there's no way they're igniting the stadium with punches, man.
I have a theory. He's already ran out of his power, and he's already back in hell.
I'd like that better, honest to God.
I'd honestly be slightly upset.
I'd be okay with it.
I'd be okay with it just on the grounds of at least he's gone. At least he can't give his life away.
Okay.
Like, at least that's off the table.
I think that might be enough for Dragon Ball Super for now for the podcast. Does anyone have anything closing they want to say though before I move on?
Sleepy.
Jiren has been catching the meanest gut punches we've seen in a while.
Yes, he has. So
Jiren's been playing around too much.
Next up,
Jiren's not playing around is the issue.
No.
Cause hear me out though.
When Jiren flexes, when
Let's hear him out, boys.
When Goku has a Spiral Galaxy amount of ki, and he sucks that in to get stronger, and then Jiren's like, well, that's cute, but I got, like, Supernova. Like, I have the sun itself.
He visibly shit himself whenever the glass didn't go off. He visibly shit himself then. He visibly shit himself whenever the spark started appearing. He visibly shit himself whenever Goku's punch hit him because Goku stood up.
That's amazing. You were just like, Jiren was too scared to hop back over and try that a second time, to where he just stood there and waited. He was like, nope. He'll come to me when he's ready. I'll wait.
I'll be waiting.
That was just too good. I love it.
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna not.
Yeah. Hello?
Nah, man, like, last time I tried to do something, this dude somehow MacGyvered his way to punching me in the gut. I'm gonna wait this out. Like, last time someone tried to shoot a beam... I think the trick to UI is you can't shoot energy balls or beams at Goku, or he will just F your existence. Did you try to shoot a beam at me? Rolled up a Kamehameha wave? Did you
The only counter I have to that is Jiren didn't shoot those originally. He was shooting his punches in air.
Yeah, that got him. The second Jiren, because Jiren's little energy ball, he waited for Goku to come at him to clash it. He didn't fire it. He was about to fire that bad boy at Goku, and Goku's like, nope, you was the perfect counter. It just flew up there and plucked it.
And I kind of did like the Kamehameha moment, because it's just like, how did Goku not get destroyed by that? he let me come at me, I'll push him backwards. He's just like, I can't dodge at this range. Increasing range.
That was good, yeah. I do love that. So, I think we're going to be good for Dragon Ball Super for now. So, again, that's the thing. And we've also made it almost... Well, by the way, we've made it past the 30-minute mark. If anyone wanted to throw any form of shade to anyone, you've had your opportunity to do so.
Boy, take it your...
I'm going to throw a good bit of shade at a certain YouTuber, just because I want to. A lot of people may love this YouTuber. I follow this guy. He's not that bad of a YouTuber, but I think his perspective on a situation is very ignorant. Seth the Programmer, shout out to you, homie. You're a pretty solid YouTuber. You're a big Dragon Ball fan. For the most part, you know what you're talking about. Issue here is, your perspective on certain things are very immature, and I think that you granted, he did a rant video today, and obviously rants aren't supposed to be taken too much at face value. But however, contrary to that, though, I do refuse to believe that those feelings are not feelings that he actually holds. So that's the thing. But in his rant video, I just think that a lot of perspectives that he had towards other people, especially people who actively he calls them out. He's like, I want you to debate with me. And they're like, we don't want to debate with you. And he's like, well, they're just a bunch of wusses. It's like, well, or they just don't want to do it because they don't see what the good is going to be coming out of it. Even if they're wrong and you're right, you have to realize that not everyone's just going to argue with you. Like, if I like to debate with pride over the concept of, Cooler's final form, I look at Chief and go, debate that with me. If Chief goes, nah, I'm good, I can't go in the back of my mind, well, Chief's a wuss.
Chief is a wuss.
Whatever. That's just very ignorant and dumb. And I think that you should. That's something that you really should consider next time. But that being said,
I'm a wuss for not wanting to participate in something that absolutely has no interest. I'm not interested in it.
Especially because the fact that, again, in this situation, I'm gonna say, Plague with Gripes is a really dope YouTuber, and he's an artist. I follow him. And Plague was like, I've watched a couple of Plague's videos, and Plague was like, yeah, man, I'm not gonna talk bad about the power scaling community, especially not Seth. He even openly says, not Seth, they're good boys. He openly says, Seth is a good dude. And then Seth, in his video, goes, well, he likes to keep my name in his mouth. I'm like, are you, what?
He mentioned the guy once.
He may have mentioned him more than
He
that.
kept my name in his mouth.
Well, he may have mentioned it more than once, but for the fact of the matter is, for him to go, yeah, man, and the best part is, Seth going, we're power scalers. We don't actually write the show. We're just we're trying to understand and interpret what the writer is saying. If you go watch Plague's video, Plague is openly going, yeah, man, in this video, it's not power scaling we're mad at, because the writers aren't focusing on that much. They're focusing on writing. The writing's poor. That's what we're talking about Dragon Ball Super. It's one situation like, dude, did you even watch the guy's video before you just put a video about him and bothering him on Twitter like an immature 12-year-old? That was, I don't see that as professional. Anyway, that's just my take on that. Just shade being thrown there. But shade also being thrown towards Bandai Namco. Listen to me, guys. You've made some of my favorite childhood games. You have. You guys have been. Well, not made, published. From some of my favorite childhood games. You guys aren't terrible, but you're like a drunk stepdad at this point, and you really need to put the bottle. You need to put the bottle down, man. Mom is terrified. We're considering leaving you, but we can't. We got nowhere else to go. Yeah, we're just really concerned.
We're concerned. You should chill.
But that's just for me. Anyone has any other shade they want to throw right now? Towards anyone?
I want to throw some shade at Chief.
Oh god.
For still doing those 10 matches.
For placing.
I'm not letting it go.
Well, that's a perfect transition. So, for those you don't know, Overwatch has done its comp season again, and Chief has already done his 10 placement matches, and me and Pride have not.
He betrayed me.
Yes, and speaking of Overwatch, a new character has been released. Bridget, right?
Bridget.
And we're going to see when Bridget comes out. Will we get Hanzo's new
No.
Hanzo.
They're not working on it right now.
We won't get new Hanzo when Bridget comes out?
They're not working on it right now. I know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying he was on the PTR, as far as I know.
But there's a new Hanzo?
No. I think he was on there for a day or something, and they took him off.
Oh wait, no, he was on he was on testing, their testing. She's actually on the PTR.
Yeah.
I'm guessing about 2 weeks to a month-ish. But she's going to come out in the middle of this comp season, probably, to be honest.
You think she's going to change the meta for the good or the worse, in your opinion?
I'll be open.
You'll be open?
She will be for the good. Because her existence creates a counter to the dive comp meta that's been existing for the past 2 seasons. Her ability to be a healer who can also defend herself, and also the fact that her healing is around her, requires for your team to bundle up more. However, that will also make it inherently weak to characters like Junkrat, for example, the ones who do splash. So it's going to shake the meta, she's going to exist, and she's going to be more picked to counter things than to be picked herself.
Okay. Well, what about you, Chief? What do you think she's going to add to the meta?
A lot of BS, like a Tracer with like 350 health.
She's like a miniature Reinhardt with a flail.
That's sexist.
Okay. She's a Reinhardt with half the health, who is also half the target, whose shield is
right?
1,400 health less on the shield. It's 600, not 2k. Yeah. And she just has a lot of abilities. That's really it for her. She's a
her shield bash already got nerfed. So
yeah.
How'd they nerf it?
You can't go flying in the sky off the slidey side.
Oh, in that case, that's not a nerf. That's a bug fix.
That is a nerf.
No, it's a bug fix.
No, because
it's not supposed to do that. No,
no, does it?
Yes, because Doomfist is different than that.
Oh my gosh.
It's a shield bash. A shield bash should require you to be on the ground to begin. He's a rocket punch.
No, not in the sky. That's not what I'm talking about. You can dash off of a sliding surface on the ground and go flying in the sky. That's what they nerfed.
It doesn't make sense for her to be able to fly compared to him. He's got a rocket. She's got a slight shove. And anyways, it doesn't really matter as much. It's a bug fix. It's just the way the game.
If it was a bug fix, it would have fixed Doomfist too.
Every character except for him is fixed. They left him on purpose.
This is one of those disagree to do
And that's
this is not a moment for that.
This is one of those agree to disagree because you will not spend the next 23 minutes of my podcast arguing over if she's nerfed and or fixed. You can suckle Awesome 10's left nut.
Okay, but I don't want his left nut. He has testicular
Well, that
cancer.
sucks because podcast goes on. 7 Deadly Sins is currently a thing going on right now. And season 2 is out, and oh my god, I love it.
Is it on Netflix yet?
I don't think season 2 is on Netflix yet.
Then why is a Netflix original series not on Netflix?
Because I think it has to be, it's currently still only subbed, right? It's currently only subbed, and I think it hasn't fully aired yet, and Netflix likes to wait for the entire series to end. Like this season to end. So after the last episode of this season, they're probably going to be done. But I don't think the season's going to end for a little bit either. So that's the thing. Isn't My Hero supposed to be getting another season later this year?
April.
Yes. So. And if I'm correct, they're also supposed to be getting a movie.
No, My Hero doesn't need a movie. I mean, it probably will get a movie, but it doesn't need one. My Hero Academy,
they need to hype it up more before they get a movie, in my opinion.
No, I've heard they're working on the movie already, but it needs a movie about as much as Hunter x Hunter did.
Okay. I want to hear I want to hear this.
What part?
Your reasoning. Because I personally feel the reason why My Hero Academy doesn't deserve a movie at the current moment in time is because it doesn't have enough world building for a movie quite yet. Whereas
I usually make it to the end of these, but I'm sitting back here about to pass out. I'm out.
Later, big ones. But in my opinion, Hunter x Hunter, has world building enough in the first arc to where you can do a movie. Whereas, My Hero Academy doesn't have enough world building. I don't. Honest to God, tell me what city UA is in.
UA City.
Okay. How far is Deku's house from UA?
at least 3 steps.
Like, no, but like that's the thing. Like you don't know where anything is. Nothing's really descript. I don't think there's enough world building at the current moment for you to give me a movie, and like
enough for him to not see his mother.
I don't think you can give me enough of like a real, in my opinion, movie that will make me go yes.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Because a lot of
the only reason why I said that Hunter x Hunter doesn't really need it, didn't really need it comparatively, is there was enough going on in the series itself, and that's where the issue for me is with this. It doesn't need a movie right now. They have enough stuff without having to create some side story.
Well, I mean, again, that's the situation where movies aren't usually canon to the story themselves, and it's just people doing that for the fun of it, really, to help build up hype and market the show. And I don't think that that's an issue there. But for most anime movies to work really good, you have to do some form of world building. Like, even Naruto, one of the classic anime, like back when he was a kid, like the Land of Snow movie was actually really good, but we had found out and it was fine because we already had world building at this point. So, I think world building, in my opinion, for a lot of the movies work well if there's already like a good setup. For the sake of argument, Deku's dad has a fire quirk, spoiler I guess, and we don't really see him ever. Deku's dad has a fire quirk, and he works out of the country.
He has a dad?
Pride. Well, why would he have one of those?
No, I'm saying
he only has DNA.
No, why would Deku have a dad in this case? He hasn't shown up ever.
That's the point. There's not enough world building, in my opinion, for you to go and make a movie.
Well, there goes the movie. Deku's visiting his dad.
Even in Dragon Ball, with this new movie that they're planning on coming out with in December, there's enough world building there. That's just my take on it. I just think that if they do make a movie on in My Hero Academy without enough world building, I don't think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be another oh, that was cool to see Deku use One for All to one-shot the guy. That's cool.
To one-shot the guy.
That's how it's going to be. Cause I don't see them writing it creatively enough. Or Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki all tri-beam a dude using all their quirks at the same time, and Todoroki and Bakugo propel Deku towards his opponent. Deku does the BS power-up to win. Whatever. I'm not going to get into that.
You might Deku's going to work with him like that. Or not Deku. Bakugo's going to actually work with Deku like that.
Did you forget the, exam?
That's because he was forced to.
He said,
don't prove me wrong. So yeah, that's my take on that. I don't think that they really need a movie right now. What do you think, Tiggy? Do you think they need a movie?
Well, I mean, no, because all we know is Hoshu City and...
Holy cow, he knows the name of the city!
that was it. That was the only thing that we know about. And plus, we know it's in Japan, or it's taking place in
we know the place in the city.
Holy cow, he knows the city.
But I mean, yeah. Especially since, if they were... can I say spoiler? Can I say spoiler, Owl? Okay.
Nope.
Gotcha.
However, I do think we should probably get closer towards wrapping up the podcast. We have a few more topics to talk about. Our next topic comes from one of the Patreon homies. Shout out to my boy. I'm gonna say this properly. It's your boy Big Phil. I would actually use his real name, but his real name is on the Patreon. And if you guys want to be awesome homies like him and get your topics on the podcast, go over to the Patreon, support it. I appreciate the help. But anyway, on the Patreon we have here saying, and this is a topic, I'm going to read this verbatim by the way, Nintendo losing their mind and creating the Labo. Do you guys know what that is or no?
I do. Cardboard.
So, Nintendo made this dumb cardboard-esque cutout thing for the Wii U. Not the Wii U, the Switch. It's why though?
Because why should we put our money into actual products when we can make you buy something you can make yourself?
Yeah, toys.
Nintendo, listen to me. I want to be first to say that I understand that trying to make Nintendo stop doing weird, wacky things, just tearing the horn off the unicorn, it ruins it.
Tearing the horn off the unicorn.
You heard me.
I'm sorry. You'd have better luck with the unicorn.
I know, but that's my point. It's not. It's just what they do. But and there's supposed to be like leaders in innovation. But for Nintendo to be like, dog, hear me out, right? Cardboard, the next step. What?
Wait, so they made like cardboard cutouts of a Switch?
No, they made they made a cardboard thing that you can cut out, shape, and fold into certain figures to help you use your Nintendo Switch.
It's to add to immersion, but it's cardboard.
It's
not like the other things that they've had for like the Wii, where they had Wii Sports and there was a foam thing you would attach.
Yeah.
Where it's actually a product, not a Lego set that you do yourself to then use.
I need you to understand that if you weren't to bring this to your friend's house and it rained and it got wet in your backpack, you'd be effed.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep. What in your backpack?
If you have any pets in your house, it's effed.
Did you say there goes your Transformer suit?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because that's one of them. One of them is the arms of a Transformer mech that you make yourself, put the little thing inside there, and you just use that to play.
So we're diva out here in the streets?
Some of the ideas would be cool if it wasn't cardboard.
Yeah.
Am I diva out here in these streets?
No. If Diva was a cooker who lived in a cardboard box, then yes, you're Diva out here in these streets.
Dude, you are a poverty cosplayer.
Honest to God, though, I don't know. I feel like that this was probably a really smart move on their part to try something new and innovative. I think that I would not fault them for trying to be creative and new and innovative. I just don't think that this was a step in the right direction.
This is more for children instead of.
Well, it's not because
it's not made for children because children can't put the cardboard together.
Oh God!
And they wouldn't market it to teenagers and adults using it. It's it's weird, man.
You're right.
I don't know why, but
Big Gums must love it because he's a man child.
Oh my!
I mean,
you even got the 12-year-olds roasting him now.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God!
What?
We passed the 30-minute mark, but I wasn't ready for the shade to be thrown.
You know what? Actually,
Bravo.
I'm gonna give that one to him.
Okay.
Encore.
But
do it again. I'm
but no. Honestly though, I think that Nintendo. I don't think this was a smooth move on the part, but I do. I think it's. How do I see this not becoming such a self-righteous a-hole? My opinion is holier than thou, but. Because again, I don't own Nintendo. I'm not the brilliant guy who decided let's name our next console Switch. So, I'm not. But that guy's making millions and I'm not. That guy's making millions and I'm not. So.
Dude, you know what? Actually, I'm in the wrong business. I'm wanting to be a teacher. You know what? I should just go and make cardboard for Nintendo.
Yeah. That's what. Anyway.
Because we're ragging on it, but. We know just as well as anything else
that
came out for gaming.
It's selling. It's selling, yeah.
I mean, the Wii U sold.
I think, yeah.
Was the Wii U that bad though?
The Wii U was pretty. Yes, the Wii U was pretty bad.
The Wii U was bad,
I think Mario Maker. Was it Mario Galaxy? I think it was Mario World or Mario Maker, and Mario Galaxy and Mario Maker. But those are the reason the Switch lived out its entire lifespan. Hands down.
Zelda.
Oh, and Star Fox. They redid Star Fox.
Yeah, Zelda is a huge reason for that.
Wasn't Wind Waker on the Switch? Or not the Switch, the Wii U?
I know Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that's.
It was on the Wii U, but it was better on the Switch because you could actually take it places.
Yeah, so that was the reason why, That was
the reason why I actually still want a Switch, just because it's a mobile game system like that. I like the idea.
I like the idea.
It's just, have you ever tried to play Mario Kart with one of the controllers?
No, it's bad. I do hope though. I do hope. I hope the Switch kills the DS and Nintendo stops trying to make them.
Well, I don't know why they're making DS.
They should probably stop after the Switch, in my opinion. Anyway, great topic by It's Your Boy Phil. It's Your Boy Big Phil. I really appreciate the topic, but I think we gotta move on because we're gonna be on this topic for the next years. I know us. Oh man, why is this a topic? This is not a topic. One of the topics is Owl and his lead on ways Apparently, I lead women on. That's not an actual topic. Who are you kidding?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Does he really lead women on, or do women lead themselves on his promises?
There you go.
Hey, oh my God!
This guy gets it. This guy gets it.
And say hello to your ultimate liar. Ow.
We're letting Bon Voyage get away.
Why would you not? You're not letting him get away. You're just letting him have a chance of becoming a good person.
Oh, I think this is something that I want to talk about in the podcast, actually. So my fear as a YouTuber, as a creator on YouTube, is I will have a fan, and she will be romantically, who would want to be romantically involved with me, and she'd be a fan of me. And I'm just like, and she's of age, obviously. That would scare me. Like, if me and her are the same age and she's like a big fan of me. Because it's one of those things, like, when you have a fan, it's one of those, like, there's no way you can be with a fan and they not. Because you can't get with a fan, man. Like, there's no way you get with them and have a meaningful relationship. And if you do get with them, it's one of those situations where it's like a power, difference between the two of you.
Yeah, it's how you end up getting worshipped as if you were a god.
I don't like that. So no, that's my biggest fear.
That's not a relationship.
That's me. That's like you're using someone. Like, I don't want that. I don't want I don't want anyone on my YouTube channel or anyone who follows me for art like that. It's like I'm using them. That's why I don't really plug my Patreon like that. Like, we recorded a podcast last time, and I was like, the joke of me plugging this actually went on too long. No, we didn't even use the last podcast we recorded because it just wasn't a good footage and good recording. So hands down, that's, you know what I mean?
Well,
I'm not.
He does have a Patreon, but he's not gonna reach out and try to get people to follow him.
Yeah, because it's I feel like I'm using.
Because you're not a cash grab.
No, I should be. Bro.
You're not a cash grab.
If I should be. I should be, because those are the most successful people on YouTube. But I can't do it naturally.
If you were smart, you would.
Yeah, if I was smart.
But you also have this little thing called pride. Not me, actual pride.
Yeah, it's my downfall, honestly, God. Though it's a pain.
Oh yeah, it always is. It always is. But it is also the upbringing. It is also the thing that lifts you.
So, I think that just from my experience, that'd be my worst thing. But I think we have enough time for one more topic. So, I'll let you guys decide right now. The topic being men's hairstyles or we can do music, men's hairstyles. We didn't get to do bigums and women, and he's not here. I'm going to do that topic.
He's not here, so it's not fair.
We'll have to save it for next time, which does suck.
Next time.
TFS, no. So we could do men's hairstyles. We can do. Why is Patreon on this? I was probably typing like a madman. Well, we did touch on Patreon, so that doesn't count anymore. Thank God, yes. Being an artist or being creative in general, we can go back to porn tags. But I think that's
okay. Well, we all know man bun supreme.
Okay, so that's, yeah, we want to get our hairstyles anyway. So, okay, I think right now, because as a guy who's growing his dreadlocks out, and I'm gonna have dreadlocks at the top of my head, I'm gonna have a taper fade with dreadlocks, and I'm probably gonna be able to put them back into a ponytail or a man bun. That's gonna be the style I'm rocking for a little bit. So, just because my head.
Alright. Can you hop on Monster Hunter and help me out with this expedition?
No, I'm recording a podcast, faggot. Anyway.
And I'm still in the process of I'm still in the process of growing mine out. I'm trying to get it a little bit longer before I try putting it back up in a man bun, because there's just too many loose strands.
Yeah.
I can't do it tight enough, and if I tried to do it tighter, I'd get the tractional hair loss, and I'd rather keep my head of hair. It's not a joke.
Hair means everything, Pride. Have you not seen Dragon Ball?
Have you not seen One Punch Man?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, one of the strongest people in Dragon Ball right now doesn't have hair. And could never have hair.
Goku at the top of that.
No.
I'm sorry. The third strongest man has a lot of hair. The fourth strongest man, however, had no hair again except for a mustache.
The strongest character in existence is Zeno, and he's bald. And there's two of them. Shut up.
The strongest 10 characters in existence are bald.
I thought the Dashinkan was strongest.
No, he is the 5th strongest. Before the second Zeno appeared. So he's the 6th strongest.
No, who's stronger than him though?
We said Zeno. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call that a podcast for Tigger Gives Me an Aneurysm. If you guys enjoyed the podcast,
I'm going to roast Tigger's hairstyle real quick.
Before you guys, anyway, if you guys enjoyed the podcast, please should leave a like and let us know your comments down below. And if you guys, again, want to have any form of support of the podcast and the channel, you can also follow links down below as well. It's been OwlBlackYT. Tigger, please shut up. And it's been us, and we're out.